My name's Nigel Healey. I'm a professor and pro-vice-chancellor international at Nottingham, Trent University. I think internationalisation directly contributes to the core mission of a university in two fundamental ways. I mean, most obviously, students who are graduating today are joining a global labour force. They'll be working for companies that are multinational. They'll be working alongside co-workers from different parts of the world. They'll need to be internationally mobile and cross cultures and borders to have a successful career over probably what will be a 50-year working life for them. So, first and foremost, if we're going to graduate students who will be successful in a global labour market, they need a worldview. They need to appreciate the difference between cultures, languages, religions and so on, and be comfortable in that space. Which is why I think it's very important that we have a diverse international population on campus in British universities, but we also have a very outward-looking, connected curriculum with opportunities for mobility. The second is more subtle, and I think this is something that connects with this notion of ontological shock, which is that we in universities we aspire to produce graduates who are critical and independent thinkers. One of the easiest ways to create critical independent thinkers is to expose people to other cultures and other ways of doing things that challenges them to understand the way we do things, because the way in which our orthodoxy is not the global orthodoxy. It's many different ways of being, and I think that you can see the maturity of students who come back from a year abroad and been immersed in another culture and seen the world through the eyes of another culture. They have just a different approach. So I think it contributes in that way as well. I say it's more subtle, but perhaps in the long term it's actually more meaningful. In terms of strategies that universities have adopted towards internationalisation, I think that there is a growing trend towards universities selecting international partners with which they intend to forge quite deep relationships, where they might be exchanging both faculty and students, building research teams across both campuses. You've seen a number of these initiatives. Warwick's initiative with Monash is quite well known. Monash is a very similar university to Warwick, similar in terms of history and mission, so there's quite a close fit there. You've seen, so some of these have been bilateral relationships along those lines. Often they're on a network basis, like Universitas 21, the World Universities Network, where you've actually got a club of universities that are cooperating to promote student and staff mobility and research collaboration. I think that's a growing trend, yes. What's the future of higher education? That's a very good question. Higher education has become, in 30 years, one of the most important sectors on the planet. 30 years ago, we educated about 50 million people. It's now 200 million. So 1 in 3 18-year-olds globally now go to university. And it's likely that that number will grow further. Participation rate globally is about 1 in 3. Participation rate in the OECD is 1 in 2. So you might expect it to stabilise around 50%, which means considerable further growth. I think what you will see is one of the trends that we're already observing will be much greater mobility of both faculty and students. We already in this country have about 25% of our faculty are foreign-born, 40% of our researchers are foreign-born. That's a trend I can't see reversing. Many of the Asian countries are now becoming competitive in the space for international students. So they are, for example, countries like Malaysia are now major destination countries for international students. So I think that degree of competition will increase. But I just see it going the same way as other industrial sectors becoming globalized. The future of higher education, I think we all spend a lot of time thinking about this and contemplating the implications of technology, of MOOCs and so on. I'm relatively unconvinced that those those trends, that those developments will materially impact higher education. I think that higher education will continue to grow. I expect that higher education enrolments globally will probably stabilise at around about 300 million, about 50% of the eligible cohort. So we're going to see considerable growth in the sector for the next probably 10 to 20 years.